Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Vulnerability Time. I am your host and published author, Trenton Epizon Rucker. I am so elated and excited to be here with you all. I'm so just grateful to have y'all here listening. Don't forget to share this with your friends. Don't forget to drop a comment and a um, rate this podcast. Yes, I don't know how Spotify works, but on Apple Music, rate this. Say something awesome, something that you learned, something that you want to learn in the future, or want to talk about in the future. I am so open and so ready to hear, y'all's thoughts. So yes, with that being said, let us get started. This will be, of course, a short episode because this is just a commentary from the previous episode, which is with Colby on men's mental health and male body insecurities. So, yes, men's mental health. This is definitely something that is stigmatized. However, it also is stigmatized, just in general. It depends on I feel like it can come down to individual, you know what I mean? Like individualized experiences. Like you could be a girl in a family that's like super hush hush about things, so I'm not invalidating that. Like, no, that is completely a thing. However, going off of, Colby's journey and experiences and his story that he shared with us, I think I can speak for all of us when I say we are so grateful to have Colby. I am inspired by his vulnerability. And let's be honest, you know what I mean? At least for me, I'm just like, it's a frat guy, I mean, I'm in a fraternity as well, but I mean, no one would guess it, but he's like a frat guy. So just seeing that representation of a frat brother or just a frat guy in general, seeing him open up about certain things, I feel like it definitely can inspire and, help other frat bros out there, that are feeling the same thing. And like, hey, it's okay to talk about these things. You know what I mean? These things exist. Because at least for me, I was just taught this stereotype of, oh, all frat bros are just party. And they are nothing more than just party animals. They're not human, pretty much. That is obviously not true. And not saying it's wrong to party. Hey, party your ass off. Do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? But it's just honestly lovely to see that representation of we are still human. We go through things. We face things. We have insecurities, which are actually normal and healthy. It is what got us from the caveman days all the way to now. Because our brains and our body, this modern age society is way ahead of our evolution as humans, so a lot of these things that we experience, you know what I mean, they played a key role into our survival. Like insecurities, fear, that is a survival mechanism that served us. It used to serve us. It was so healthy for us. Of course it didn't feel good, but it's how we grew and we learned. And now we're in a day and age where we don't necessarily, we have the technology to where we don't need certain survival skills that we needed, way back then in the caveman days. And I'm not saying that to all of Earth. Of course there are some, let's see, I can't think of the word, but like certain tribes that haven't had modernized or humanized contact, which isn't such a bad thing. Let's be honest. How modern age, as technology, and how that can be sometimes. I mean, sheesh. But anyways, the point is, y'all, if you're feeling these insecurities, you know what I mean? Guess what? That is normal. You are not a bad person for feeling that. Because if you were alive in the caveman days and the hunter-gatherer days, in fact, it would be a concern if you didn't have insecurities. Insecurities are just protection. You know what I mean? Well, that's what they did serve. However, we don't necessarily need it like we did back then. So, in a way, it's kind of not serving us anymore. Um, but I just want folks to take comfort in that. This is research. Go ahead and research this. Um, Go ahead and take comfort in the fact it's like, look, if you're struggling with these body insecurities or just insecurities in general, especially I'm talking to the men right now based off Kobe's, previous episode. Hey, you're not any less of a human. You're not any less of a man. You're literally human. Okay, like insecurities were necessary back then. So yeah, so as far as going with the body insecurities, of course we have all these like quote unquote perfect bodies just always just around us on social media, and it's kind of like we have no choice but to compare sometimes. It's hard, it's hard to look at yourself in the mirror and say this body is beautiful when there's outlets out there that are intentionally or unintentionally telling you, oh, your body isn't that beautiful or perfect. You know what I mean? And obviously that is not true. But does that feel like it's not true? No, it feels like it's true a lot. It's like all over the place, And for me, I'm still struggling with that, y'all. Like I finally gained on a lot of weight. Like when this past year in 2021, my eating disorder tanked. I became like 90. I was either 100 or 99 pounds. Let's say 99 pounds. I was 99 pounds. Now I'm like 128 to 132. It kind of like fluctuates the last time that I weighed myself. But I actually love my body now. I used to hate my body. I was like, oh my God, you're always so skinny. Like, ew, gross. People always made fun of me for it. I got bullied for it. I was just an easy target. You know what I mean? And then I started having people come in my life and say, ooh, I wish I was as skinny as you. I'm too big. So I wish I could be as skinny as you. And I was just like, can we trade? Because I wish I had more weight. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it just made me think like, like what? Where the fuck did this start? Where did this start? Where, just in general, like the whole, oh, let me define what a perfect body is. When did this start in our human evolution? I just want to know. Because I'm just like, I'm not a fan of it. But, it's hard to love yourself. It's hard to love the body. You know what I mean? But it is possible. And I want y'all to know, I am the impossible. Okay? I'm telling you, I thought I would never love my body. I love my body now. I really do. And it sucks, honestly, that it took a little bit of a change for me to love my body. However, I'm grateful that I love my body now. I really am. However, I just wish that I didn't need to see change in me to start loving my body. Like I should have started I wish I just loved my body as it was and then, changed if I wanted to change, a lot of things in life shouldn't have to change for us to love it. You know what I mean? Like what we need to start doing in life in general is just loving things where they're at first. Because is it fair? Is it really love? Is it really unconditional love if we are just waiting for something to change in order for us to appreciate it better? And trust me, this is easier said than done. Do not get my words wrong. This is easier said than done. In fact, it feels impossible. But I just wish we, as a human race, at least in this modern age society, I just wish, that, gosh, in a perfect world, well, not a perfect world. Let's see. I don't know what the words to say, but I'll say in a perfect world. In a perfect world, I just would love to see us love ourselves and love each other where we're at first. Because a lot of, like when it comes to like body size and a lot of things like that, a lot of people, that's just, they can't change that. It's like, it's not as like, oh, you're just not eating enough, that's why you're skinny. That's not always the case. oh, you're just really big, so that's why you're really big, because you eat a lot. That's not always the case. That's not fair. That's not how the body works. The body is very, very interesting, and I feel like, if us as a society would, do more research on the body for our own selves, for our own individual understanding, we would definitely come to love our bodies a lot better than we are now. Yeah, and so, and body insecurities, that can definitely affect mental health. It's crazy. Um, it There is so much that's not talked about within men's mental health. Okay, this is a day and age where it's slowly starting to be, more accepted. I'm really appreciative for our current generation. I'm a Gen Z, so I mean, I'm a Gen Z. I'm really appreciative for what I'm seeing my generation bring forth into this society. Because it's also helping teach other generations before us, hey, these certain things, they exist and they're okay to talk about. Because I'm not bashing older generations. It's literally not their fault. It's just how society was back then. And so they have that mindset because that's all that they know. And it's so hard to quote unquote change or unlearn something, especially when you've grown up with it your whole life. If you've grown up being told one thing your whole life, of course, previous generations are going to think, oh, you're a man, you just need to suck it up. You tighten yourself up by the bootstraps, or emotions are for women. Like, they didn't know no better. I'm not validating it, by the way. Like, I'm not saying, oh, they're right. No, clearly wrong. However, it is understandable where they are coming from. I don't know, so that kind of helped me kind of like ease my frustrations towards older generations, because I'm like, what, honestly, they didn't know. I wonder if they had the mindset that we have now, what would they do with that mindset? And where would we be at today? Now, if they had the mindset that we have now back then and we had no progress, I would be shitting on the older generations. I'd be like, you know what? Look. But yeah, no. So I just think it's really beautiful, though, that, when it comes to men's mental health, we're seeing actually more, and this makes sense, more stigma with older men's mental health. Yes, men's mental health is very stigmatized still. It's doing a lot better than it was, though. However, if you do research, and like, I'm not going to bring statistics on here, you guys. This is vulnerability time. I love to do research. I do tons of research, but I encourage you do this research for yourself, so you will feel like you're not alone. Whether you're man, woman, non-binary, whatever you identify as, just do research on your own. You'll realize that, hey, a lot of this quote-unquote self-hate that you're feeling is actually normal, and it actually wasn't self-hate way back then. Anyways, you'll begin to see, wow, I'm not so quote-unquote crazy after all, because that's what I thought. I thought it was crazy. I was like, something's wrong with me. But yeah, we're seeing it within older males when it comes to mental health and suicide rates. I don't like saying statistics, but 75% of suicides in America are males. Obviously, not all of that is contributed to, they just don't talk about anything. No, there's that also is accounting for accidental suicides as well. However, we do see that a huge, unfortunate amount and majority of that 75%. A huge amount of it, I don't know the number exactly, but it's more than half. Just do research on it. But it's a lot. How about that? It's a lot. Are due to mental health stigma. Mental health is no joke. It is something that we all have a mind, folks. Everything we do comes from our brain. Okay? Even when we're sleeping, our brain is still, it's still working. How you were able to click onto this podcast. If you didn't have a brain, you literally would not be able to, like, really do that. So everything comes from the brain. The mind is very vulnerable. The brain is very vulnerable. It's very beautiful, and it can be very scary. However, um, it can always be, healed upon. Not saying things in life and in the brain can be perfect, but it can be a lot better than where it is now if you're currently struggling with mental health, or if you will struggle with it in the future, or have struggled with it in the future. It just will not feel like there's hope, but there is hope. I promise you that. Um, and so, with that being said, to all my men out there, my fellow men, my brothers, hey, you are not alone. You are not weak. For being honest and for facing something and for being strong enough to say, you know what, I can't do this on my own. I need help. Because if I could do it on my own, if it was that easy, would have been done it. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Or am I right? Left. Get it? Because I don't know. That was lame. But yes, y'all. So if you know a male in your life that is struggling with, actually just in general, just send this because you might never know. So just, share this with the men in your life. You know, we all need a reminder, and we all need help to see that, hey, you know what? This insecurity about my body that I feel, men feel that all over the place. I just don't always see it. But it's true. We feel it. Oh, I'm struggling with mental health. I'm not alone in it. There are other men who are quote unquote strong who are also depressed. Wow, I'm not alone. You know what I mean? So share this with someone, and you just never know that you might save a life. Okay? You might save a life. That's the point of this podcast, is to heal and save lives, folks. So with that being said, thank you so much. This has been another fabulous, marvelous episode of Vulnerability Time. I look forward to seeing y'all next week, because next week's topics will be um, mental health journey and fighting battles alone. And this will be from a mental health counselor, therapist, I have his credentials in the next episode, okay? Because I'm not seeing all the credentials in my notes. They must be in my other notes. Go figure. I would do that. I would put it in the wrong note section. But anyways, y'all, so we have it from a licensed professional. There we go. A licensed professional. He's amazing. He's great. I can't wait for y'all to meet him. Have a beautiful, lovely day, and stay safe. And remember, this hurt that you're feeling, this too shall pass. Bye, y'all.